Hey, what's going on, everyone? David Radney, I go by D-Rad. I want to share with you guys a video that was filmed at the Keller Williams office in Ridgewood on February 25th. And this is when Racham had made an announcement about me joining the coaching program and bringing push to the agents in Ridgewood. And during that time, I shared some information on my backstory. If you guys don't know me, I guess the easiest way to say it is years ago, I had a challenge public speaking. Whether I was talking in front of 2 people or 20 people, I was just always extremely nervous and really had to work to get better at public speaking. Well, I shared that story, and Patti Gurney, I love Patti, she kind of challenged me on it. She didn't believe that based on where I am now and my ability to speak in public and teach classes, that I ever had a challenge with it. So I told her during that meeting, one day I was going to have my buddy who worked with me, a great friend of mine, my best friend Darrell Wilson, join and actually tell a story of how I used to be when we worked together in Los Angeles. Well, I want to share with you the video from when Racham made the announcement, and then I also want to share with you a Zoom presentation where Darrell actually joined one of my push classes, and he actually told the story of my challenge with public speaking. The guy is hilarious. It was a great time. I know I had to be a little vulnerable in order to share my story, and I don't mind, I had to cringe a little. However, I know that story is going to help people because if you see and hear where I came from and you see where I am now, you will know that it's possible for you to do it in your life. So here we go. Let's have at it. My previous career, I worked for a company called Kaplan Test Prep, SAT prep, law school prep. I don't know if you guys know the company. I was so terrible presenting in front of people. I would like sabotage myself so I didn't have to go to meetings and present. And one of my great buddies that I've known for over 20 years, we used to work together. So I was like the numbers guy behind the scene doing all the work, and when it came time to present, it was him. Because I could not get up in front of that room and present. I'm actually gonna have him do a Zoom call to the coaching program, because you guys don't believe me. I'm gonna have him get on video and tell you, David from California and David from Texas. I don't believe it sometimes. The fact that I'm actually sitting here talking to all you guys and I'm not nervous and shaking says a whole lot. I have to tell you guys, when you tell me I can't pick up the phone, I can't make calls, I'm afraid to door knock, I don't want to do a listing presentation because of fear, I get it. I was this guy. Scripts in front of me, right, shaking, sweating. I would call it for sale by owner. I was so terrible. Guess what they would do? Click, and they would hang up on me. Click, click, and then I was so bad at times I would hang up on them. So I get it, and I understand. I appreciate that. So this is one of my best friends, Darrell Wilson. I've known him for 23 years, D?
23 years.
23, 24 years almost. And
Absolutely.
He worked with me at Kaplan Test Prep in Los Angeles and Westwood. And so when I tell you guys all these stories about me not feeling comfortable presenting and talking in front of a group, you don't believe me, especially you, Patti. And so Darrell's on here and he's got jokes. I'm warning you guys right now, he's got jokes. But I want him to tell you the David from 23, 24 years ago, since you don't believe me. So with that, Darrell, I'm giving you the floor, man.
Well, good morning, everybody from Los Angeles, California. Darrell Wilson. I've known David for a very long time. We worked together at Kaplan. And, believe it or not, David was terrified of talking. In fact, when David and I worked together, David was the numbers guy. He would run the numbers. And all the information was given to me, and I had to get in front of everybody to speak to the teams of different, and we had people from Hawaii, people from Colorado, New Mexico, California, all of Texas. So all of the regional managers from all those locations would be in a room, and we'd have to present to them sales, numbers, metrics. And when David would just give the information to me and stand behind me. And then when he did talk, he had on this polyester blazer. He was sweating. He had this sweat. He was sweating and nervous and talking and stumbling. I'm like, he was the worst. Okay. And then not only that, he would overheat every minute because of the polyester blazer that he got from Ross Dress for Less. Okay, the Ross Dress for Less blazer was itching him. He was sweating. He was nervous. So it was brutal. So it was really, really brutal. It was extremely, extremely nervous. So in terms of terrified of public speaking, and I think he might have took a Toastmasters or something like that to get better. But it was if David can get better, anybody can do it. So I'm telling you, he was like, hey, D, you want to go do this? No problem, I did it. I studied radio and TV and speech in college. I worked for Kaplan. I worked for National Geographic for many years, was the consultant of the year for Nat Geo. Now I'm with another company. I speak at universities. I've been on TV shows, radio shows, all over. So I do that. But David, he's a pro now. You guys see him now. He's a pro. You see him on Instagram. You see him on Twitter. You see him, doing push. Phenomenal. So if he can do it, you can do it. And we used to do calls that we had to call people on the phone in other parts of the country. So what do you do when you do that, right? You got to localize it. We have to localize it. So make it, personal. So you don't sound too salesy. So we were able to do that, over the years. And seeing David now compared to what he was before, I mean, I wish I could videotape it. If I could show it to you, we could package that like push. We could package that and sell that to HBO, and none of us would have to work. We would just take all the residuals off that comedy skits of him getting in front of people. None of us on this call would be working right now. We would be living in our dream house, and the residuals would be coming in. It would be like a Netflix special. If you showed him up on stage and with those blazers and those Spectrum or Cox cable boots on, he had these boots on with his jacket. It was like,
we want pictures.
It was crazy. It was crazy. So
I have to find pictures. I'm sure we have pictures somewhere. I gotta find pictures. But I'm telling you, Patti and everyone else, what Darrell's saying to you is so true. It could be 2 people in the room, 20 people in the room. It didn't matter. I mean, my heart was going a million miles a minute.
Looking down like this, looking down with the information, looking down.
So
the sales for this quarter, 25,000.
Swear to God.
The sales. Jim, your calls are down for the month. Carissa, we need to talk to you in the other room when you get a second. It was bad.
It was bad.
Yeah. It was bad. So all you guys are pros compared to where he was. I'm telling you, seriously.
How many years?
And
so, I mean, so you moved to LA from Chicago. It was 97 or?
Yeah, 97, 98. Mm-hmm.
So it was between 1997 when he started and when I moved to Austin in 2000. So that 97 to 2000, we worked together directly.
Right.
So I need 20 more years.
No,
it's not gonna take long. And even for me, what I would do is, we would call. I have to call on Texas and cold call or call Texas or whatever. I would know all the different. If it's College Station or if it's Austin, I would just try to localize it and call them. When I talked to them about selling them a product, I would talk to them about maybe the Longhorns or the Texas Aggies or Rutgers or Seton Hall. I just throw something in. Hey, did you see the game with Seton Hall played or Rutgers played or the Giants? Something that just basically take that edge off, that nervousness of me or the customer. I would just localize it. Just localize something about the areas. And then real estate or pricing or interest rates or whatever, but I would always do that. And a lot of times it got to the point where when I would call and I would throw some of those local things in, they were like, oh, he must be living here in Texas, because they were trying to get an MBA. You're trying to go to the University of New Mexico in Albuquerque for your MBA. And I'd start talking about the New Mexico Lobos, right? So I would localize it wherever. Denver. Boulder. I saw, beautiful campus at University of Colorado Boulder, and then I would just localize it, and it helped me calm down and to deliver, some products and Q&A with the customers. That's what I would do, and then and then I would role play by myself, with the product. I'd walk around at home and I'd role play it, and then when I call them, I kind of would be a little bit better off because, like I said, we were calling on the phone. It wasn't face to face. Easier face to face. But when we're doing over the phone, local, and I would do that with all my team, is kind of, role play and localize it. And you don't have to be an expert in any area, whether you're talking about, something that's local, or you're talking about sports, just basics is all you really need. They're going to, give you the feedback that you want about the team, the university, or the area that they live in. So that's kind of my, suggestion in all of that.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. So, Patti, do you have any questions? Since you were my biggest naysayer, I just want to open it up to you if you had any questions for Darrell.
Yeah, Darrell, I have to tell you, so when David is like a presence, right? Like he's
Yes.
a big guy, he's very knowledgeable, and like he just seems like he knows everything, and he was just born that way. So he was telling this story like, oh, I was nervous, I would sweat, I didn't know how to talk. So we all were joking. It's like Giselle Bundchen, the model, saying like she had a weight problem, right? Like she weighed 124 and she was so fat. So like that's how when David was like, oh, I was nervous, I didn't talk well. I was like, this guy's so full of shit.
It's true, because when you talk to David now, David's the mayor. David will go in the grocery store and start talking to someone about oranges. Like, hey, look at that orange, how do you cut that? What, David? Hey, is that 1709 vodka you're drinking? I've had that before when I'm like, how do you, we're somewhere in Vegas, and I'm like, how, you're asking him? I'm like, I don't know about that. So now he's the mayor. He can talk about anything. And that goes back to the point where you can, whatever your interests are, you can localize it and talk about that with your customer about anything. Just throw it out there, and then they're talking. It's so true. But, he's awesome now, but before, if you saw him before, you were like, he could not sell a Motel 6 for one night if you saw him.
Oh, man.
He couldn't sell one night. $29.99 Motel 6 in Patterson, New Jersey. Motel 6, buy one, get one night free in Patterson. Couldn't sell it. Not happening. Not happening. It's not happening. If I own Motel 6, we're going out of business because he's not going to sell it. Motel 6.
All right, so Darrell, what do you think changed? What do you think changed him? Like, you being his friend for so long, what do you think made the difference?
Well,
so that we could kind of.
David, he could sell, and he was always knowledgeable. Also, David worked harder than everybody else. David worked harder than everybody else, and he was determined. And also, he would self-reflect. Okay, man, you might want to take a class, a Toastmasters class. Most people are like, I'm not doing that. So I think he would go and do that, and then just be willing to learn and willing to grow. And then he outdid everyone. He's better than everybody. So those things are key. Willing to listen, self-reflect, and like take information. So if you pass information on him, he's going to take that and use it. Hey, we might want to try this. So I think the most successful people will take in information, will self-reflect, and grow, and then not be afraid to lose. Because David bought a condo when he was 20 something. I didn't have a condo. I mean, I'm older than David, and I'm like, this dude bought a condo in LA. I'm like, so he just was ahead of the game because of reading and learning. It wasn't given to him. He just went out and took it. To be honest with you, he just went out and took it. So those things are that tenacity, and then willing to learn and grow and get better. The sky's the limit for any people that are successful.
Yeah.
Love it. That's great.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, man.
I was just telling my husband the other day, I said, we don't want to sell our house. I said, but if D-Rad came here, it would be on the market.
Man, he's the ultimate negotiator. I said, I have plenty of stuff in the catalog for you guys to use. So that was just a small amount, but I have enough D-Rad stories. Like I said, we can go to Netflix. So maybe when you got some more, we'll package it and create it.
Yep.
Hey, Ross Dress for Less. If Ross Dress for Less would be bankrupt if David Radney was around, because that's all he shopped at. Ross Dress. Clearance section. Okay,
that's true story.
So
Love it.
We would love to meet you someday.
Definitely
Yes.
love to meet you guys as well. Best of luck to you guys.
All right, D-Dub.
Thank you so much, Darrell.
All right,
Okay,
bye.
bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, so Patti, there you go. I told you I have them join, so
I can't believe it's true.
I feel the same way, David.
I mean, I
feel
do
like you've been
believe it
speaking
now
your
because
whole life.
Darrell's a legit guy, but
Yeah.
Listen, and he
Setup.
went easy on me. Like I was bad. What he just shared with you guys, I felt like he went easy on me. So there it is.
Excellent.
There it is.
Thank you for allowing yourself to be vulnerable and share that.
It's all good. It's all good.